You are listening to a series of 10 podcasts on the United States Congress, presented by Citizen U. Episode 2. Discuss tactics used by interest groups. What is a lobbyist? The act of influencing is called lobbying. A professional who works for any given interest group is called a lobbyist. Though the First Amendment protects lobbying, their behavior is closely regulated, not unlike campaign finance. All lobbyists must register with the government and file regular statements that itemize their activity. In addition to money and gift limits, there are restrictions on revolving door lobbying. The revolving door describes those elected officials and bureaucrats who are hired by lobbying firms to influence their former office. Nevertheless, many of our democratic values protect lobbyists against draconian restrictions. Of course, hiring a lobbyist is not the only way to influence policy. Through letter writing, demonstrating, and other like-minded activities, anybody can play the role of an interest group. When everyday citizens participate as an interest group, this is called grassroots. When powerful interest groups orchestrate grassroots activity, it is called astroturfing. Too many of us are free riders. We want to enjoy the privileges of interest group activity without participating ourselves. Unfortunately, money all too often provides the currency of gaining access to our decision makers. It has been said the mother's milk of politics is money. Interest groups allocate money to candidates running for office by creating PACs, political action committees. Ordinarily, PACs face strict limits. Today, however, 527 groups or super PACs can raise large sums of unlimited cash. 527 money cannot be given directly to candidates. Clearly, interest groups with lots of monetary resources are advantaged when trying to affect election outcomes. It is for this reason that people with above-average incomes participate in interest groups more than others. There are more interest groups that represent big business than any other sector in our economy. There are many techniques that interest groups use to influence policy. They write policy proposals that later are introduced as bills. They conduct important research. They testify before important congressional committees, use ballot initiatives, write amicus briefs, litigate by filing lawsuits, and they help candidates campaign. Interest groups can affect litigation by writing amicus briefs. By far, the single most important commodity held by interest groups is information. Notice making a lot of noise by demonstrating is not a strategy used often. Flying under the radar actually works best. If public opinion is aroused, the work of interest groups can often be harder. This is why many interest groups try to remain bipartisan. They want to influence policy in both Democratic and Republican administrations. Checking lobbyists from misrepresenting facts is the fear of losing a particular congressman's trust and confidence. Without access, interest groups cannot influence. Unlike political parties who want to win elections, interest groups simply want one thing. Interest groups want to influence policy, whether or not you're a Republican or Democrat. You are listening to a series of 10 podcasts on the United States Congress, presented by Citizen U.